The South African Literary Awards is celebrating 19 years of advancing the country's literacy. Writers will be honoured at the ceremony to be held in November. A panel of about 30 adjudicators will select winners across 16 categories. In the studio, Raks Seakhoa, who is the, I think you are the, in fact, you directed
yes.
the awards. So we kind of lost my train of thought
yes.
there. Thanks so much for coming on to the show. Now, it's been 19 years since these literary awards. Bring us into perspective where you were 19 years ago and where you are today.
Thank you very much, Hugo. Perhaps it's proper before we go in to join the nation in condolences to the families of James Matthews, who is also one of the first winners of SALA, and of course Thabiso Sikwani and Jessica Mbangeni. Yes, we must thank the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture for having been with us since 2005. When we started these awards, we started them with only one category of National Poet Laureate Prize, which was given to the late Professor Mazizi Kunene for writing in African languages his poetry. After that, of course, we then had a number of other categories. There are now 16, with Lifetime Achievement Award, First Time Published Author Award, Children's Literature, Short Stories. Yes, so we've moved quite a bit since then.
So let's talk about that shift, and as far as some of the genres or the literary awards over the 19 years of the event. What sort of shifts have you seen and how people write, or some of the submissions that are coming through?
Been very, very interesting subjects that the people are treating. Of course, politics can't be left behind. This year already celebrating 30 years of our democracy and freedom. And the people have written from all sorts of angles, including matters of gender, matters of climate change, in African languages also. Like this year, beyond the awards, we'll be having the 12th anniversary of the International African Writers Conference, which also now delves into matters like AI as relating to social change and literature.
Do people read? Do people still read? Because I think that speaks largely to reception of these authors that are writing. Are we still getting the same sort of numbers?
Yes, I think we must also be thankful to new technology because people read from all sorts of devices. It's no longer just on a page like how we grew up. People read from, the computer,
these gadgets,
from the cell phones. Yes, we can do better, but people are not reading. They are reading, yes.
So you've got 30 to 35 adjudicators that
yes.
will be assessing this year's entries. What qualities or characteristics are they looking for in coming up with those that will win the literary award?
Obviously, originality of thought, no plagiarism, and abiding by literary merit of your work, no copying, which alludes to plagiarism. But we've got a stellar cast of judges, across the languages, by the way. All our African languages are covered there, of course, including English and Afrikaans. And the kind of work that comes in is very top up there. I think later we will release a long list of the kind of writers who we have received works from. And of course, after that, the judges will make a short list of these. We've received over 300 books which people submitted. And that has been cut down to about 200 and about 5. And half of that is by women writers, which is something that we celebrate and we must grow from time to time.
Dr. Raks, you talked about technology and it raises the questions of artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Because now Hugo can plug into his phone and decide, okay, I want to write a story about whatever that topic is. And all that information is downloaded from the internet in a split second, right? How do you safeguard from those sort of contributors, or do they exist, or do?
It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. You remember the American actors and authors were on strike around exactly the same kind of issue. It's something that we as South African cultural workers, creatives, have to really look at quite closely. It's like when photocopiers were introduced. You remember that then writers also started to suffer from people who just copy their work. But the world has since come around it, and all are benefiting. So I'm sure, even with the AI, we'll be able to stem the tide of taking over the creativity of people, and perhaps have a win-win situation between technology and where we are today.
Now, something that I'd imagine is also exciting for many of those that submit is that many past SALA writers have had their works adapted for the big screen. So obviously that's a huge incentive, I'd imagine. That's
what I was saying, a win-win situation. Quite a number of people who have won the South African Literary Awards, indeed, their works have been optioned for film. And it's something that we encourage, and we are very thankful for, that we are able to give the platform to authors to have their work seen beyond the page.
Now, what we're also aware of is that the SALA ceremony coincides with the African Century International African Writers Conference. How does this contribute to SALA's mission?
In a very big way, we're very thankful that we live in a continent of Africa which recognizes the worth of writers. In 1991, the then OAU, Organization of African Unity, declared November the 7th as International African Writers' Day. And we then decided to honor that day by organizing a conference. This will be the 12th anniversary of that, to celebrate the contribution of the African writer to the development of the continent. And we're very thankful that our new Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Dr. Mackenzie, has agreed to be a keynote speaker at both the conference and the awards. And indeed, this conference takes forward the work of SALA, as it is actually an offshoot of SALA. It's our flagship program under SALA, yes.
Raks Seakhoa, Director of the South African Literary Awards, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you, Ndate Hugo, but people can check us out on www.sala.org.za or www.africacenturyconference.co.za.
Look forward to it all. Thank you for coming on to the show. You're watching Newsfeed.